Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Mango. I've been playing Fortnite, actually before Battle Royale was even a thing. But yeah, ever since the game mode came out, I have been non-stop playing it, well, as much time as I really can. And today, I thought I would show you guys a win that I had just recently that I think gives a really good perspective as to the aggressive playstyle and what you should really be trying to do and look out for in your games to hopefully help you improve. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So for this, I'm still trying to get used to the replay system. Unfortunately, I wasn't live streaming or recording this at the time, so we are going to have to use the system. I'm going to try and skip around a little bit to some of the non-interesting things. So right here, I just want to point out that I am dropping Dusty Divot. I find it a really good spot to land. A lot better than Tilted. I honestly hate Tilted Towers, but this is a really good spot to land for beginners, just because I feel like there's a decent amount of cover, and you also get that close quarter fighting that I feel is really important to learn when you're first starting the game or even trying to improve your skill. Shotgun battles are very important to learn, so you know, if you can master those, then you'll be pretty well offset. As you can see here, I only had a total of about 9 kills this game, so it's not a very high kill game. However, there are some fundamentals that I think are pretty important to understand, that you can hopefully grasp from. So yeah, also for some reason the color gradient in the video changes. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. I think it might be a replay bug right now. They are in the works of releasing patch 3.4, I think, at the moment. As we come up here, I heard footsteps on the upper left, so there was definitely someone you know, above me. A very important concept, a very key aspect that you want to get down right away is to make sure that you always maintain the high ground. If you can't maintain the high ground, the second best thing that you can do is get on the same level as your enemy. Inside the actual bunker, whatever you want to call this, inside Divot, it's very hard to kind of build up into there unless you got on top and broke it down. As you can see here, there's really nothing too special about this kill. It's very textbook, to be honest. Wasn't a very good player. I did take a little unnecessary damage here, and unfortunately I was trying to get kind of a cool kill with the Deagle. I think he had full health and full shield, so it did take a bit of fire from several guns, but nonetheless. A very good combo that I like to run also, that you'll see me do a lot, is the pump and tack. If you can get a pump shotgun in the beginning, that should be, honestly, I feel like the pump in the beginning is a little more high priority than the tack, but you do want to try and get both. The pump is really good for getting a lot of damage off, especially at like a longer range, and as you saw there, I can rewind just a little bit. Just the amount of damage that you can pop off on someone real quick. So right there, we got 47, 47, and again 25. So yeah, right here I tried to build. It was kind of a fail. The grid is a little weird, but you do want to try and maintain the high ground. That's always very important. As you can see, the guy was now coming this way, you know, over the ramp, under the ramp. Sorry. Very important that you don't want to do what I just did and jump down. What I could have done there better, and something that you guys should try and strive to do in your games, is to always maintain that high ground, and you can even take little, you know, peeking pop shots at them. With the amount of damage that I already got on him, it wasn't very necessary for me to jump down and get it. Usually you'll get in that mindset of being very confident, and so when you get into that mindset, then you can say, okay, well, I know my next shot, you know, I'm gonna hit my next shot, I know I'm gonna kill him. That's a very acceptable time to do it. Other than that, I really wouldn't recommend doing that. So yeah, we're gonna skip forward a little bit. The rest is all mainly just looting. After Divot, I usually like to come up into the actual depot, get any of the materials. Materials and building, very, very important, guys. You definitely want to get as many materials as you can. I'm sure you already know that, but building is very crucial. If there's one skill you have to work on more than aiming, more than shooting, is building. Your building is very, very key, and you'll see some examples of that later on in the gameplay as well. So I'm gonna skip a little more forward right here. So I see a guy on the horizon. Now, I believe I had a sniper at the time. Yeah, I had a scoped AR. You'll see me zooming in on the guy. A lot of the time, I feel like when I'm going up against players that do the same, their very first instinct is, okay, I see a guy, let me take a shot immediately. That's not what you want to do. You do want to wait until you have a clear shot on the guy. If I had a bolt, for instance, and he was standing still, sure. If I had a huntsman rifle, same would apply. However, you know, him having that height advantage on me already puts me at a very big disadvantage. So the most important thing that I want to do right here is try and cover as much ground as I can and get close to him, because shotgun battles are something that I've been practicing a lot, and I feel like will help your gameplay a lot if you can master that. So right there, I kind of felt bad for the guy. I actually watched this a couple times from his perspective. I can rewind it a little bit, and then, yeah, I believe this is the guy. He saw me way back, like around here, but as he was coming up, he actually didn't even see me in his peripherals. It was a clear lack of observation, situational awareness. So you always want to be panning your camera as much as physically possible. That's something that I try and do as much as I can. This is the second guy that we're now going to be facing, I believe. I'm going to switch back to gameplay cam. Right there, he tried to take some sniper shot at me really bad. You can see this player though, he is a good player. He does understand core building mechanics. One of the main things that you do want to do when someone gets the high ground on you is box yourself in. However, he was in a very bad situation here because he left himself a little vulnerable by placing this wall right here. So it's very easy for me to now just utilize the situation, edit my stairs, and ultimately get the kill. So what are some main takeaways we can get from this? First off, the guy was trying to, I guess, pull off some type of trick shot on me and get a cool snipe. When you're up this close, if you have a shotgun, you definitely want to utilize that. It doesn't matter if it's attack or a pump at this point. With the distance between him and I, the very first thing you want to do is pull out your shotgun, not try and go for this trick shot. He did place a wall right there, which was like really good. It blocked my first shot actually. Seeing this though, I knew that I was either going to want to build one ramp and jump over, or at least get two if I was able to pop it off in time, because he did try and counter ramp me, which I think, yeah, you can see right here. Getting that second ramp above them though puts them in a very awkward situation. You can kind of see his head poking right there as well. So, you know, we can clearly see his intentions were to try and build a ramp up on the wall that he just placed and try and secure the kill. This is the type of hyper aggression that I am talking about though, is you really want to try and be in control of the situation at all times. When you have to slow it down, or the times that you want to slow it down, are the times when that person is no longer in control of the situation, when they start to panic. So that's something that you definitely want to look out for. So we're gonna skip ahead a little bit more. The main thing that I want you guys to take away from these are the kills. Okay, yeah, so right here, just to put some context into things, I saw a supply drop. I didn't necessarily have to go for it, but I decided that I wanted to. If we take a look at the map right now as I'm building up, we can see that I actually do have two players approaching me. This isn't something that you can see in game, obviously. This is just something that you can see in the replay feature. So as we're building up, you know, I'm looking back. I always try and check behind me as much as I possibly can. Little did I know this guy was actually tailing me the entire time, and all I'm really doing was looking left and right. I wasn't actually seeing the entire scenario. Right now I have my camera fixated on this person in front of me behind the rock at the moment. However, there was someone tailing me this entire time. At any point in time, he could have shot. He actually did the smart thing though, noticing that I have my attention focused on the person in front of me by not shooting. If he did that, sure, they might have been able to pinch me, which is definitely a situation that you don't want to get yourself in. But in a time when you don't know where the enemies are, you always want to try and be tailing someone until you know that it's clear that they're the only target that is in your way. So right now, this guy stood completely still. Very easy headshot, very textbook headshot. It's not very hard to hit a still target. But just goes to show, you definitely don't want to be doing that. If the guy was going for some type of sniper shot on someone, the very first thing he should have done was placed up a wall and a ramp, and you know, at least provide himself a little bit of cover. Right there, I see some clingers coming in. I heard the sounds actually before I even saw them. As soon as I hear that, the very first thing, I'll actually rewind just a little bit because it was fast. So I'm going to loot. As soon as I hear that first stick, I'm gonna build as quick as I can. Little sloppy in the building. However, I did want to try and get as much built as I could to protect myself against the explosions. Right here is a good example of a ramp race, I think they call them. So yeah, right here, not anything too special, obviously. It took me a little too many shots to kill that guy. That was definitely very sloppy on my part. If you miss that first pump shot, you kind of go into a very quick panic mode that is something that you definitely want to try and break a habit away from. If you get that first pump shot off, you switch up, you follow up by that tack, and that person is going to get a lot of burst damage that they're not going to be expecting. So it's definitely something that you want to look out for. And again, if you do miss that shot, try not to panic as much as you possibly can. The best possible thing that you can do in that scenario is pull out your tack if they're still at close range, try and disengage, block yourself off in any possible way, and re-engage when you feel confident enough to do so. So right here, I always try and use any structures that are already built to then barricade myself in so I'm not wasting too many materials. I see a lot of people, you know, they have structures right near them, but they feel the need to establish brand new 1x1s to heal up. It's completely not necessary. If there's already a ramp near you, you can easily just place 2 walls, or 3 walls rather, and get that coverage. Right here I see a guy going for the airdrop. I actually got a pretty good snipe on him as he was walking. I only say that because a lot of times people either jump or they'll run and they'll change their speed. For me, that was kind of a quick scope because I'm not a very good sniper. However, again, trying to maintain high ground. Right here, he made the mistake of putting his back to me, and that's something that I definitely want to go over with you guys. You can see that immediately he's already trying to build. He's going to be coming under this ramp that he initially made. I made the mistake, I think, of shooting this ramp, which is definitely something that I didn't have to do at all. I could have just jumped to the ramp, but you know, in the moment, you don't really see those things. As I saw him coming up here, though, instant mistake. The first thing that he wanted to do, as soon as he built this ramp, was build a wall. If he built the wall right there, there could have been a very good chance that he could have then built another ramp going the opposite way and got the high ground on me quickly. Right here, though, fortunately, again, a very poor display of shotgun skills. The ramp wasn't really going to save him there much because he was too focused on building at the time and really trying to maintain that high ground, which was a good thing for him, but overall not a very good strategy when you're not going to build walls covering your flanks. That's something that you always want to look out for. So skipping a little further ahead here, I believe now at this point there's either two, yeah, I believe it's only us two left. It's me and this other guy way over here on the other side of the lake. When it comes down to the 1v1 situation, a lot of players, they get very panicked. I feel like that's definitely something that even I still struggle with sometimes, is when you get into that intense 1v1, you know, okay, the person that is left, they're a pretty good player. They've survived the onslaught of every other player that they encountered this entire match, and that's something that you definitely want to, you know, be wary of. Right here, you can see, I actually definitely want to point this out. The guy is kind of making some type of rigged porta-fort. You know, it's obviously not a real one. He was actually building the walls up himself. A lot of the time, you'll see players, if they see that they have some type of shot on him, like right here, for instance, I could have taken a shot at any point within this tiny rhombus shape. Regardless, he has the high ground. The probability of you making that shot is so risky that you are giving up the high ground, you're giving up your position, you're giving up everything, the element of surprise, everything that you have to try and secure that kill. This is a prime example of when you want to really slow down your gameplay. If you are really going for this type of aggressive playstyle, you want to keep it in mind that you can't always be the aggressor. I know that sounds a little weird, but you have to be able to know when to slow it down. So right here I see, okay, this guy is obviously going to be reinforcing his walls. That's something that, you know, I guess is good on his part, but to be honest, guys, you don't need anything more than a 1x1 base at the very end. Building something like that is a little over the top, a little extreme, and as you can see here, it can be countered very, very, very easily. I got a little lucky. It was very convenient actually for me. Someone placed a jump pad literally right here. I don't know why it was left there and why this guy didn't take the initiative to try and shoot that down, but that should have been something in mind, you know, that he kept in mind, because he had clear visibility of it the entire time. So again, I'm gonna take out the shotgun. I always want to try and start with the shotgun whenever I'm pushing on someone. Right here, as soon as I got to this point, I realized, oh no, this guy might have trapped every single wall. Seeing that this wall wasn't trapped, I thought my best bet would probably be to land somewhere around this wall, and possibly even this one. However, I didn't have any sight on this wall. At this point, I could have noticed, okay, there's no trap, and I should have really landed here. Instead, I was trying to, I guess, predict his movement as he was running this way, so I wanted to land on the edge. And doing so, I unfortunately missed my my shot. He did get a slight glance on me. It didn't really do any significant damage, but I feel like he was so startled from my initial landing that he actually just jumped off his own base and completely gave away his high ground. So this is a really good example of now what to do. You've taken over this person's base, you now have the high ground on them, you want to try and maintain this as much as physically possible. So the first thing I like to do is place floors. Now, this is kind of a high risk, high reward type thing. I was more so doing it for scouting purposes. You don't want to actually shoot from these platforms. As you can notice, you know, his entire base is made of metal. I'm making wood platforms, you know, that could be shot out very easily. So instead, what you want to do is you really want to try and use these platforms only as surveillance. As you can see, the guy is going to notice that I am placing these platforms and he's going to try and shoot them out. The first thing that I want to try and do is heal up. You always want to make sure that you're at the max health that you can be. If you have the meds to be at a certain health and it's safe for you to do so, then definitely do it. Try and do it as much as you possibly can. Another thing, just because sometimes I'm a bit of a klutz and I don't realize what's going on, is I try and get rid of the traps because I know in the heat of the moment, if he tried building up, I would probably run into them and he would get the easy W. So, you know, I definitely want to prevent that as much as I could. Doing that actually kind of played to my advantage because as soon as he heard me shooting, you can see those walls being destroyed. His first instinct was, okay, this guy is going to try and break my base down, so I might as well try and help him. He actually ends up shooting his wall and trying to pickaxe it. Now, this definitely isn't something that you necessarily want to do. I heard him doing it, and so again, trying to see if I can maintain that high ground, I want to try and build any platforms that I can see. Now, this was a very big mistake. I should have peeked at this wall, or even up here would have been a little safer. Since he was right down there, he had a very easy shot to just turn his head up and shoot the platform that I built. So unfortunately I fell down and I lost the high ground. Now luckily, very, very luckily, I did end up getting that first pump shot, following it with attack. Now a point that I want to make here, I'm just going to go back a little bit, like right to where he knocked me down. One thing that you're going to see me do is slow down my shot. So I'm going to shoot, tack, and right there, if you saw it, I know it's kind of hard to see because it happened so quick. I'm gonna try and slow it down a little bit actually. So I take that shot and I took that second shot. If you saw, his other shot glanced to the right of my head. At this point, when you're in that type of, you know, bunny jumping mode, things get a little hectic. Your aim starts to get really sloppy. So one thing that you really want to try and focus on doing, and make a very conscious effort of doing, is to slow down your shots. If you know you're gonna miss, if you know you are missing your shots, take that mental breather and say, okay, this guy is still in panic mode. This guy is still gonna be shooting. I'm gonna slow down my gameplay and I'm going to try and get whatever headshot, body shot, any sort of damage on him that I can. So hopefully I kind of explained how to really utilize this aggressive playstyle. I know I paused the video a lot, and I'm sorry for doing so. I just really wanted to try and emphasize, I guess, my thought process for every kill, the reasons why I did certain things, and also, you know, to help me improve as a player as well, because there's a lot of things that I saw in this gameplay that I can go back and do a complete analysis of what I could have done better. So yeah, guys, as always, I appreciate your time. If you want to catch me live, I stream at twitch.tv/MangoGaming. Now that the summer is here, I have a little more time to actually stream, so definitely check that out if you guys have the chance, and I'll catch you in the next one.